Genetics and heritability has been discussed when it comes to criminal behavior for years now. The definition of genetics is the study of heredity and the variation of inherited characteristics. Now, this definition alone helps us understand exactly what we are looking for when we try to understand the connection of genetics and heritability when it comes to crime. There has been much research on the topic, and it can help us possibly understand why a person has committed a crime just by looking at the genetics and family history. The Dutch researcher H. Hilger Ropers and the geneticist Han Brunner helped pave the way for this research in 1993 when they analyzed a family from the Netherlands that was known for their violent behavior. And after their research, they came to the conclusion that the reason the males in the family were more prone to criminal activity was because males as a whole only have one X chromosome, whereas women have two X chromosomes. They said that because men only have the one X chromosome, they were more susceptible to a defective gene, as Roper and Brunner put it, and that would lead to their criminal behavior, and that women would be more likely to be able to overcome this so-called defective gene because of their extra X chromosome and not become a criminal. After continuing to study this further, they felt that they found the gene that caused the criminal behavior and that they were lacking the production of serotonin and noradrenaline, which made it hard for them to break down impulses. Because of this, they felt that they were getting overrun by stimuli that they could not process due to their lack of serotonin and noradrenaline, which led to them being violent. This includes both of the genetics of the family and the heritability of it being passed down from generation to generation. Another set of research on the topic was done at the University of Texas Health and Science Center, and they suspected that they found the link between the pleasure-seeking gene and criminal behavior. They said that when a person is lacking dopamine, which is a chemical from the brain that releases the feeling of comfort or well-being, a person looks for something to give them that same feeling. And it could come from a variety of different things, possibly even crime. When a person finds comfort in crime, that's when a problem arises, and it is likely that their lack of dopamine is being fulfilled from the feeling that they get when they commit a crime. In 2002, more research on genetics and heritability was done, and it focused on the interaction between genes and their environment at a young age. Basically, they said they found a connection between early experiences as a child and how they would end up as an adult. Those children who suffered emotional and or physical abuse as a child were more likely than those who didn't to end up having social disorders that would later lead to their lack of self-control and criminal behavior. This research was later confirmed by further research that was published in 2016. National Geographic believe they have linked another gene to criminal behavior, and that is called the warrior's gene. They said that this gene was in men, that they felt they had a constant, strong feeling of anger, and that they were more likely to use weapons or join gangs or just in general commit crimes. Mental disease can be passed down from generation to generation, which could play a role in someone committing a crime. But there is no proven fact that just because someone has a mental disease, they will be a criminal. It seems to be more likely that a person with mental disease that is living in a bad environment would be at greater risk of becoming a criminal. I would say that children living in neighborhoods where crime is all they see or know would have a higher criminal propensity and end up being a criminal possibly the rest of their lives, solely because that is all they have ever known. Just like any child raised to go to church every day has a higher chance of continuing to go to church as an adult, for example. Basically, throughout all the studies, the conclusion is that genetics alone or environment alone do not produce criminal behavior. It is when the two overlap and interact that a person can develop the antisocial behavior with lack of self-control and become more prone to commit crimes.